to Country Cookin'. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we'll be making wild rice and chicken salad, cream of asparagus soup, oatmeal beer bread, and pecan pie surprise bars. So let's get started. We're going to start with the pecan pie surprise bars, and we're going to make the base first. So we start out with a box of yellow cake mix, and you reserve 2/3 cup of that before you pour it into your mixing bowl. And then we have a 1/2 cup of butter that I've melted. And 1 egg. I'm going to use a pastry blender to combine it. And then we're going to put it in our prepared pan. I've sprayed it with Pam. Then we're going to put this in the oven, and we're going to bake it just until it starts to get a little bit golden. It takes about 10 minutes or so, 15. Just watch your oven. Okay, so it looks like this. Put it in the oven and let it start baking. And then while that's baking, we'll start working on our filling. This is where you use the reserved 2/3 cup of cake mix that you've set aside. 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. 1 cup of rolled oats, and 3 eggs. Remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website, and if you don't have internet, just give the girls a call and they'll be happy to get you a copy. The reason I chose this menu is I've always been a Kentucky Derby fan, and it's fun to have some friends in and have a Kentucky Derby party. They say it's the most exciting 2 minutes of sports, but this is the kind of a meal. Of course, it's southern because it's in Kentucky, and they're known for their pecans, so I thought the pecan pie bars are easy to slice and serve, and kind of goes hand in hand with the rest of the menu. Something that people can walk along and take a little bit of and serve themselves. So we've got 1.5 cups of dark corn syrup. Teaspoon of vanilla. take a little break while I mix this up. We'll be right back.
Sign up for HD or DVR from Valley this month and receive 2 months free and free installation. Call us today at 437-2615. You don't want to miss out on this offer.
Well, we're ready to take that out. Okay, now what we're going to do is sprinkle it with our chopped pecans. This is a cup. Doesn't have to be perfect, you just kind of distribute them as well as you can. And we'll pour our filling. Okay. Now we'll put this back in the oven and let it bake. And we'll start working on the beer bread and get that ready to go. So we'll start out with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of rolled oats, half a teaspoon of salt, 3 tablespoons of baking powder. I have other beer bread recipes that use self-rising flour, but this one with the oats in it makes it a little bit of a heartier bread. Half cup of water and a half cup of sugar. Mix that together. Okay, now we're going to add our 12 ounces of beer. I'm using non-alcoholic beer because that's what we happen to have in the house. You can use any beer of your choice. Okay, I have sprayed a bread loaf pan. We're going to pour it in. Spatula. Okay, what we're going to do is put this in the oven and let it bake for about a half an hour, and then we're going to take a half cup of butter. We're going to actually take it in 2 stages. We're going to start out with 4 tablespoons of butter, 4th cup of butter, and we'll pour it over the top and let that bake in, and then we're going to do that process again. So we're going to get it in the oven and let it get started. And then we'll get working on our salad. This I have pre-cooked and chilled 3 cups of wild rice. And I have cooked and cubed 4 cups of chicken breast. You can actually use, if you cook a whole chicken, you can use that. I like the chicken breasts because it just looks better, I think. Salad. And then you take 1.5 cups of grapes. You can use a red or green. I use a red, and then you cut them in half. If they're really small, you don't have to necessarily cut them, but I keep them all uniform, whether they're big grapes or small. And we'll toss that together. You will love this salad. I've taken it to potlucks and picnics and gatherings like on the 4th of July, and everyone loves it. The first time I ever had this salad, a girlfriend of mine brought it to our house when we had a death in the family, and I asked her for the recipe right away, and it's a good salad. We'll be adding cashews, but we're going to do that just before we serve it so that they stay nice and crunchy. So we'll make the dressing. You take 1 cup of Hellmann's mayonnaise. I use Hellmann's because it's what the recipe calls for, but I like Hellmann's mayonnaise. I just like the quality of it. And we've got 5 tablespoons of sugar. And then we need 1.5 teaspoons of Lowry's seasoned salt. Okay, stir that in together, and then we'll toss it over the salad, and then right before we serve them, we'll add the cashews. And we'll put it in the refrigerator and let it chill while we're finishing up the other things. Now, these recipes can all be found on the Valley website, so if you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'll help you out. I also had a friend just last night that said they were having trouble finding the recipes, so if you go on the Valley website and you see the cow, the theme cow for country cooking, you click on that cow and that's where you'll find the recipes, and you'll find the recipes that go all the way back from when Mary was there too. So if there's something that she made that you were thinking of, that's where you'll find them. Just put this in the refrigerator so it chills. And I'm going to just police my area and we'll start working on the cream of asparagus soup. We'll be right back.
Protect your investment with smart farm monitoring from Valley Telecommunications. Get video surveillance cameras for your home, shop, or barn. Sign up now and receive 5% off of Clear to Their cameras and 1 month free of off-site storage.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, we're going to start working on the cream of asparagus soup. I'm going to turn my heat to medium and put a 1/4 cup of olive oil in the pan. And then I'm going to put in a 1/2 cup of celery that I've pre-chopped, a 1/2 cup of carrots that I've pre-chopped, and a cup of yellow onion that I have also chopped and prepared. And we're going to get those so they're tender but not brown. So we'll let those start to cook. I have 4.5 cups of chicken broth or chicken stock. Get that in the pan. And we won't start that until we're ready to add all of our ingredients, but we're gonna get these going. This soup is so chock full of vegetables, and it's so good for you, and it's a very nice soup to serve for a spring luncheon or something, like I said, like a Kentucky Derby party where someone can dish themselves a scoop of soup, and then you sprinkle it with some croutons, and it's pretty. If it's definitely green because of all the asparagus, and it also has 4 ounces of spinach in it. My husband isn't a fan of it just because of the looks. He loves the taste, but it makes a nice soup for a spring luncheon, or when asparagus is in season and it's not so expensive. It takes 1.5 pounds of asparagus, and I have it washed and pre-cut into 1-inch pieces. You want to take if there's any white ends off, you want to chop those off. So, and I have a really nice kitchen scale, so I double check, but it takes about a bundle and a half to make this batch. These recipes can all be found on the Valley website, and if you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'll get you the recipe. I'm going to just take a peek and see if you want to bake the pecan pie bars until the filling settles, and if you've ever made pecan pie, that filling is a little bit shaky, so as soon as that settles, that's when they're done. And it just depends on how hot your oven is. It's going to take half an hour or so, but we'll take a little break while we're waiting for the vegetables to get tender, and then we'll finish up on the soup.
Valley Telecommunications is pleased to announce that our Technology Solutions Center is fully stocked and open for business. We have a large selection to meet your wants and needs. Some of the items we currently carry are a variety of corded and cordless phones, different brands of tablets such as Kindle Fires and Apple iPads and all the accessories for them, Telekin computers, Epson and HP printers and ink cartridges, Apple iPods and accessories, office supplies, wireless keyboards and mice, cellular phones and accessories, different types of media storage, cameras, headphones, power strips and surge protectors, and much, much more. You can also get your very own Valley swag. Our prices are reasonable and comparable to any other retail store. If there is something that you want or need that we do not currently carry, please let us know so that we can check into it for you. We accept all major credit cards, cash or check. Please feel free to stop by our office and check out our new and improved store for all of your technology and day-to-day business needs.
Okay, we're going to take out the beer bread, and we're going to baste it with a 4th cup of butter and let it bake in. Okay, put it back in, and then it's going to bake for another half hour. Okay, to my carrots and celery and onions, now I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon of cumin and a ½ teaspoon of coriander. And then I'm going to add a sprig of thyme. I happen to have an herb garden, so I have the spray, if you don't have the spray, I would put in probably about a 4th teaspoon of ground thyme. So you want to stir that in. And I'm going to start my water over here. My chicken broth. Down. Okay, now I'm going to put this into the chicken stock, and then we're going to add our potatoes, our sweet potatoes and the regular potatoes, and cook those until they're tender. I've got the potatoes diced in pieces about like this so they get tender fairly quickly. This is a smaller sweet potato that I've done the same thing with. Stir that together and we'll let it those get tender. And then when those are just about tender, then we're adding our asparagus and our 4 ounces of spinach. So we'll take a quick break while this starts to tenderize and we'll be right back. Okay, we're going to check on the bars and see how they're doing. Looks like they're good. Set these off to the side and let them cool. And I think our potatoes and everything are starting to get tender, so I'm going to add the asparagus and the 4 ounces of spinach that I have rinsed and drained and chopped. Now we're going to cook this until the asparagus gets tender, and then we're going to put it in the blender. And I blend it about 2 cups at a time because it's hot, and you wouldn't want it to splatter and burn you. But we will puree it and put it back in the kettle and add a little cream and a teaspoon of grated lemon rind. Okay, it's time to take the bread out. Okay, now we're going to take the other 4th cup of butter and brush that over the top, and then we'll let it set. Okay, we're going to finish up the soup now. Everything has gotten tender, so we're going to put it in the blender a little bit at a time.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
What works best for me is if I take a 2-cup measuring cup and I scoop that out and put it in my blender. If you would prefer to use a food processor, that's fine too. And I fill it about half full like that. And then I put it on liquefy. And pour it into a kettle. You're probably thinking it looks like baby food, but you're gonna love it, I promise. If you like asparagus and you want a good healthy soup, you'll enjoy this one. going to add the grated lemon peel that I've done in advance. And then we add a half cup of heavy cream. Okay, I'm going to put it back on the stove and I'm going to add some salt and pepper. And the recipe doesn't really tell you how much. I use about a teaspoon and a half of salt and about a teaspoon of pepper. Stir that together until it gets hot. And we're about ready to eat. I'm just gonna cut the bars. Okay, we'll get the salad out. I'm going to put this in a little bit of a prettier bowl to serve. You don't have to, but I'm going to stop right about there and add the cashews, a cup of cashews. I promise you, you will love this salad. It has such a nice mix of flavors. Okay. The bread. Kind of a mess here. Remember, if you're interested in any of these recipes, you can find it on the website, and if you don't have internet, just give the girls a call and they'll make sure you get a copy. Now your husband's probably going to say it looks like baby food, but it has a wonderful flavor and it's so healthy. Sprinkle it with a few croutons. Yeah. If you want to make this a little fancier, you can serve it on a lettuce leaf. We'll just be real casual because I'm pretending we're having our Kentucky Derby party, so just let people take a scoop of that. Let's get bars out. These are a little bit warm. You'll want to make sure that you cool them enough so they aren't going to be quite as sticky as mine are today. And there you go. We have our wild rice and chicken salad with cashew, our oatmeal beer bread, our cream of asparagus soup, and our pecan pie surprise bars. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Country Cooking, and I hope we'll see you next time.